as far as the Eastern Conference Finals.
And to go with Texas.
I'm not surprised.
Tired of watching the same boring old sports shows? Try this on for size.
His play style, yeah. I think he's the best at pretty much everything.
You're watching the What the Show with Jose Ruckus and JiggaMan Porto and this damn sports show on the internet. What the
We back, baby. What up, Jose?
Oh, what's up, man? Took
Dude,
a week
whole-
off.
I know. I don't like when that happens. I found myself on that Tuesday very bored. Was like
You spend like a whole week like gathering the news, thinking like, oh, we can talk about this, and then you just get there like,
right? Think about it. We set up all these graphics. We got so prepared for last week, but it was a good cause. I mean, that Zed charity event ended up being amazing. It was good. So because it was such a good cause, I was okay with us not having a show to do that night. But makes it that I have so much energy for today, bro. Because
exactly,
we got so much to talk about. I want to start off with Kyler Murray, bro. Dude got the bag. $230.5 million extension. Did you see that CBS?
It's a huge contract. It's not record-setting money like some of these other guys are getting, but it is a huge contract. But the big sticking point here is that he will be making more money a year than the MLB team that drafted him is spending on their entire roster right now.
Bro, that when I read that, the entire payroll for the Oakland A's is $48 million, and he's making $46 million a year by himself.
It is like outstanding circumstances here. The A's are back in full on tank mode. They sent away a lot of their big name guys. They're running minimum amounts, but still, one player in a different league is making more than an entire roster in another team. That's insane. That's unheard of.
It really, dude, I would love to go back and look at all types of different players' salaries and compare them to MLB teams. We should do that. Like, find out how much.
The A's teams, especially. It's always going to be the A's that are like, that's way under that, right?
I mean, I could not believe this. But, I mean, what do you think about the whole Kyler Murray extension itself? I mean, were you a big fan of that component of it? Or
it's sort of like a bad situation that just kind of is the NFL right now, where he is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. He's extremely talented. He's really, really good. And that means you have to pay him a lot, because if you don't, someone will. There's always going to be a team that's willing to give this guy probably even more than the 46.1 mil, right? Like, I mean, there's some teams like Jacksonville who would throw 50 mil at this guy easy.
Oh, 100% they would. I just thought, okay, great. Yeah, lock him up, get it done now. Makes sense, And it's tough because he's not one of those guys that you can sit there and say, well, he hasn't proven himself. He has. I think he's well worth the money and proves that he's worth the money. At the same
time, though,
but he still hasn't done enough.
He hasn't won a playoff game. He's been he's been a really good regular season quarterback, but has not really shown, the makings of a champion,
Yeah, but it didn't stop him from making some money. So
what are you going to do?
It is what it is. Bro, how about some breaking news today? If those of you that haven't seen it yet, Julio Jones heading over to Tampa.
Yeah,
Tom Brady got himself a nice little weapon, huh?
I mean, maybe Julio Jones, bit of a disappointment last season, right? I think everybody can agree with that.
I would even say the last two seasons. Let's be real.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see Julio fall off as quickly as he has over the last couple of years. But being able to work with a really good quarterback, that might be able to step it up. Tampa Bay really needs to fill in early in the season that Chris Godwin role. He's going to be out for like the first half of the season. So to get somebody across from Mike Evans like Julio Jones, take some of the heat off of him because Mike Evans is really, really good. So
Right.
hopefully this will work out for everybody. It'll be a great signing.
Yeah. It's crazy because we've talked about things like this before, but this is one of those ones where could you imagine Julio even 4 years ago and Brady 4 years ago if you would have paired them together?
Yeah, I mean that just everybody would have lost their minds. It was
Right.
like when Antonio Brown came to New England or Randy Moss came to England. New England. It's one of those crazy signings. This is both guys much further down the line.
But do you think, though, because the debate really could be Tom Brady can elevate Julio back to what he was, and we might get one of those resurgences from Julio Jones this year?
I'm not going to say it's not possible. I think we get one game this year. We're going to get a Julio Jones game where he goes off for like 2 touchdowns and just a bunch of yards, and everybody will be like, oh my God, Julio's back. And then he'll go back into essentially working the slots, maybe be like a, third down target, like a big, like possession kind of guy.
So you don't think I should draft him number 1 in my fantasy draft?
No, I don't.
You heard it here, people.
Unless you and I are in the same fantasy draft, and then yes, I do.
Look, I started a new thing where I always want to give a shout out to the bots that show up in the chat to offer us amazing things. Shout out, bot. Thank you for offering to get us more viewers and visitors. We'll work on it. I mean, I feel like they look at the count of when the show starts. They're like, "Aw, they've only got a couple people in there." Hey, Knights of Dejan, you guys, shut up, bot. All right, I'm sorry. Speaking of Knights of Dejan, can we talk a little bit about the epic partnership with Action? Ooh, the announcement came out yesterday. Dude, this is dope. I mean, if you're a Knight holder, you're a part of the community, you're getting a subscription to Action. All the articles that started coming out, Action Network enters Web3 through new partnership with Knights of Dejan. Like, this to me is a perfect example of sports utility given by an NFT project, given by Knights of Dejan. This is going to be huge, bro. And hey, newsflash, you and I both benefit from this. Oh,
if you're a Knights holder, this is exactly the kind of news you want to hear about, right? Like, not only is it like a big partnership that's getting announced, it's a partnership that's within the sort of realm that you're probably committed into. The Knights are super invested into sports, and so here they are investing with a sports team, company. It just makes so much sense.
Sports and betting. I mean, you couldn't ask for more, and it's perfect fit, totally on brand. Jason Wright in the chat said it himself, perfect fit. Super excited. I can't wait till more details come out, but that was one of those news alerts that came out on Twitter, and I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, make betting and sports even easier for me. Super excited for that one. I never thought I would see the day, bro, that I would say this, but Vince McMahon has announced his retirement.
Yeah.
Granted, a little possible shadiness behind the scenes, but aside from that...
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on here. We still don't know the entire situation because I mean, so he's stepping down from his role as head of creative and all that stuff. He is still the majority shareholder in the company,
right? Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, like you said, there's a bunch of controversy about Vince over the last couple months especially, but really it reflects back on sort of his entire career. The WWE has not always been the highest echelon of, being a moral company. But I mean, I hear some talk about perhaps him stepping down as a way to sort of maybe sell off the company, bring the price up during all this controversy so that they can sell it off. I don't know if I think that that's exactly what's going on here, but it's, man, all of a sudden everybody's locked in on wrestling all of a sudden, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, I look at it this way. I'll choose to remember the childhood entertainment that Vince McMahon brought me, not look at the legal stuff and everything that's going on. But it's wrestling talk. And we know that our good buddy Peanut loves 2 things. Well, technically 3 things. The man loves wrestling, loves Kay Adams, and loves the FCF. All right. So today we would definitely bring him on so we could talk a little bit of WWE. What's up, Peanut?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
It's going good, dude. Is that? Hold on. Can you hold the belt up? Can we get a shot of the?
Hang on.
Oh,
Let me
this
flip
man
around here.
came in
There we go.
prepared.
Yeah, there you go.
He's got his Universal Championship right there.
Original
Came in
Monday Night
ready.
Raw colors right here.
Peanut, how you feel about the Vince McMahon retirement? Talk to me. Give me one of those spicy peanut takes. What's going on?
Well, let me just start off. Now, of course, we got to do the spice here on a Tuesday. So, I was surrounded by AEW fanboys and Tony Khan simps in the chat of FCF Discord, basically telling me nothing's gonna change in WWE. I personally believe that Stephanie McMahon, Nick Khan, and Triple H, who Triple H is half creative, Stephanie McMahon is chairwoman and co-CEO, and Nick Khan is co-CEO as well. I believe there's going to be a lot of decent change over the next 3 to 6 months. I personally believe that WWE is going to be in a much better state than it is now. Just for example, about one of the changes, let me talk for a moment about last week's Friday Night SmackDown. As one of the examples of the changes where Xavier Woods actually referenced Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling, which never happens in WWE. Mm-hmm. And if you hear very closely, Michael Cole makes a Kenny Omega reference, of course, to the injured former AEW World Champion. So I think you could see a glimpse of the changes from the start, even when Hunter was not starting creative. But I think, guys, you're going to see a lot of new changes. I think Triple H's NXT guys that are not signed by AEW are going to get signed. You'll see Gargano, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai all re-signed with WWE. And I think eventually once AEW contracts are up, Hunter's going to go on a raid of AEW talent.
This is a whole new coming with a spicy take.
I think Adam Cole and Undisputed Elite will become part of WWE. And I also think, this is a kind of a bold take, I think that Dr. Britt Baker, if Adam Cole joins WWE, will go along with him and be a part of the Undisputed Era.
Jose, I see you're smirking over there. I feel like you got some input on this. Talk to me.
Well, just to start off with the spicier bits, most of the guys on AEW, they're signed to some pretty long-term deals from what I've heard. I actually just listened to an interview with Nick Khan today on the Dan Le Batard show. It's a really good interview. I recommend people go check it out. Most of the guys, especially some of the newer guys like Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole, those guys are signed to I think minimum 5-year contracts. They're going to be around for a while. I do expect Ciampa and Gargano to go back to WWE if Hunter is the head of creative there. I don't expect big changes from this entire thing going down. I watched Raw last night for the first time in a couple of years. It's still Raw. It's still way too long. It's still a 3-hour show that shouldn't be a 3-hour show.
Well, I mean, there's
I think what you're going to really see is small stuff.
There's a whole new energy and flow to the show. I think commentary seemed much more natural without a 77-year-old Vince McMahon yelling in people's ears. Behind the scenes, I think seemed like there was a reignited fire among the superstars to wrestle and entertain. And I think it'll pay dividends for WWE in the long run. And I don't expect widespread changes overnight. I think 3 to 6 months and maybe potentially over the next few years, I think you're going to see a lot of changes. Now, selfishly, since I'm going to Raw in late November at the Norfolk Scope, I personally want to see changes to Raw eventually. By the time
it looks like All Elite Wrestling. What's up? Appreciate you guys tuning in. But Triple H is going to reestablish his vision of a global brand. WWE UK, WWE Japan, etc.
They seem like they already started that with, of course, NXT UK, and I think that might actually be a good idea. I think maybe Raw and SmackDown could have their own kind of places in the UK and Japan, kind of split up the roster and go international with it, maybe.
I think that might be a good. That actually the idea of NXT UK and stuff was actually a weird sort of like preemptive move to like stop something like AEW from happening. And I really hope they don't do that again of like going in, because like the one thing, unfortunately, that the NXT UK did when it came in was it completely destroyed the UK indie scene. Like overnight, independent wrestling companies just went out of business when WWE came in and bought up all their guys. I was a big fan of the UK scene at the time. I was pretty upset. And I mean, it did turn into like guys like Tyler Bate getting huge pushes. Guys, there's some really good stuff that came out of that. Walter came out of that, right? But I prefer to see WWE do what they do best. Don't focus on like going into the little guys and stuff. Do the big guy wrestling.
Do the big things.
And I think,
known for.
Expanding on your point earlier about Ciampa and Gargano getting pushes, I think, Tommaso Ciampa will, since he's already in WWE, obviously you saw Raw last night, he was, tagged up with The Miz, which seems like kind of like an odd pairing, but I think eventually they'll split up, and I think Ciampa will get a major push. I think Gargano will get a major push. I think some of these, like I said, some of these other NXT guys that Triple H those were kind of his guys. I think you'll see some major pushes on those guys.
Well, I gotta say, Peanut, I mean, first week without Vince, sounds like you're happy with the structure so far. People are sounding happier without Grandpa around. I did get a Finn Balor question mark.
Finn Balor is a part of the Judgment Day stable, and actually was really good because Rhea Ripley returned last night and had a face-off with Rey Mysterio's daughter, which was pretty intriguing, and then beat the crap out of Rey.
Look, there's three wrestlers that when their entrances hit, I still get super excited watching now. Finn Balor is one of them. Shinsuke is the other one. And there's just something about when Randy Orton is coming out that I just get excited for a freaking RKO.
Oh, Shinsuke nowadays is like the best entrance because McAfee just hypes it up so much and makes it so fun. Especially,
it is fun.
Especially when Rick Boogs, tagged up with him. I don't know how long he's going to be out. But I think Boogs, especially once he comes back, I think
the dream scenario for me with Triple H taking over creative is a resurgence of Shinsuke Nakamura. Like 2014, 2015, Shinsuke Nakamura is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
100%.
Just that dude in Japan just kicking people's heads off as hard as he can. Like, he never really got to do the Shinsuke thing when he came into the WWE. The King of Strong Style never got to do Strong Style. So I would love to see them just do something with him.
I agree. I think now with Triple H, we're going to start seeing some of that youthness again, and that creative that he likes to do. I mean, even in the chat, they're saying it, right? It should be that time now. Those Triple H guys get their time to be debuted again.
I think Shinsuke and AJ Styles will get a major push as well. A lot of guys that you don't usually see, on the main roster, will get big time pushes. A lot of those guys you don't usually see at the top. You're going to see them get major pushes. So,
man, Peanut, appreciate you showing up, even though you're sick as can be right now, coming in here, dropping your spicy peanut takes, showing up with the WWE belt. Now you got everybody excited. Everybody's going to go yell at their 77-year-old grandparents and tell them to get out of their ears. They have a wrestling show to run.
Also, I have a prediction for the main event of SummerSlam real quick. I think Brock Lesnar will win the undisputed WWE Universal Championship by burying Roman in underneath the commentary tables for a 10 count.
No. Peanut, we were having a really good time together, and then you ended on that. I'm a Roman fan. Why would you do this to me, Peanut?
Cowboy Brock is the best version of Brock Lesnar. He's so hilarious, and he also kicks butt when he needs to. So Cowboy Brock is just entertaining. He needs to have the world title at some point.
Thanks for stopping by, Peanut. Have a great night. Literally decides to drop the Brock drop. Come on. And I know he did it purposely. He knows how I am feeling about Roman. Okay, Peanut. Okay. Speaking of WWE, how about Kind of Funny?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Huge news. Greg Miller, former owner of the Wild Aces, is going to be hosting a weekly show called This Is Awesome on Peacock/WWE Network, depending on where you live. That's so cool. That's insane, man.
I mean, for as long as they've done stuff around WWE and his love of WWE, like, you know, I don't even know Greg. You know what I mean? But it was one of those moments when you saw it, you're like, oh, yeah, way to go, Greg.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And now it's something I have to make sure to put on Peacock on Fridays and check it out.
Yeah, I'm really excited because like they haven't given us like a good example of what it is yet. So
Right.
I'm interested on Friday when it comes out, tuning in, seeing what they're doing, because I bet it's gonna be awesome.
Man, it sounds like you actually wanted to do a post show on the show done by Greg Miller on his show, which I think we need to make that happen because it's Greg. It's kind of funny. They'll have a show that goes on about that show, and then we should be the show
Absolutely.
to the show of the show.
That's a lot of
can make
shows.
That's a lot of shit right there. All right, you know what? How about we jump into a little bit of sports history? Get your knowledge, people. Check this out. So much knowledge. Do you feel smarter, people, just for that? I do have to apologize, though, because I saw that I missed one. 24 years ago today, Sable on WWE ripped her clothes off and only had paint on as a bikini. So I'm sorry I didn't include that in the history of sports. It just felt like it wasn't really a top moment to include in the video. So, dude, not even last week, 2 weeks ago, we had our boy Jason Wright in the chat, threw out a suggestion. And one of the suggestions that we liked was you get to pick any 3 NBA players of all time.
Yep.
To represent your squad in a tournament. Who would it be?
3v3 basketball.
Now, Jason Wright, because he came up with the idea, he actually came up with 5 to make a whole squad to have two backups for his choices. And since he's the one who chose the topic, I thought that was fair. It was fair. So I want to play his first. Okay.
Okay. I want to see what he came up with.
But you know what? We can't do this without our boy Coach Richie. What up, Richie?
Happy Tuesday, gentlemen.
Whoa. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. Richie has a new baby. Congratulations, bro, baby.
Yeah, buddy.
Dakota just got doxxed.
Yep.
I appreciate you not breastfeeding on stream. Appreciate you, bro. Making sure you have
You're
the clothes on. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey,
You ready to see?
came prepared. Came
I
prepared.
see that. So here's what Jason gave us, guys. Here's Jason's squad. If he was to put his team together, number one, the inventor of basketball.
Wow.
I mean, hey, he's going to the source. Number two, Tim Duncan. Number three, and I'm afraid that he might beat everybody. He got Air Bud, bro. Our dude dropped Air Bud on his team. And then he's got Jerry West and Karl Malone.
The mailman delivering the mail.
So let's remove Air Bud and the inventor for a moment. All right. Even though we understand that's definitely the top two guys on that team.
I'd rather remove Karl Malone.
Wow. Wow.
Well, there's Jose's take. Richie, what do you think of his out of his five choices there? What was his best pick?
I go Timmy D. I played ball. Obviously, you can tell the shoes behind you. I'm a bank guy. I love the bank. I even teach my young kids how to bank the ball in. I mean, it's basic physics. Hit that top of the board and it goes in. You know what I mean? So he perfected that. The dying breed, dying way to play basketball is using the. I mean, they gave you the backboard for the reason. Like, utilize that bad boy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was a good squad, but after you throw Air Bud in there, nobody else matters. You know what I mean?
Doesn't matter.
You've got the picture right there. How many Air Bud babies did he have? They've got to be grown dogs by now, right?
Okay,
that should have
keep
been your
going.
whole squad, Jason. Just the completely squad Air Bud. That's my vote, bro. Great job with his picks. Congratulations. Good job, Jason. Good job. And he made his own graphics, sent them in. This dude came prepared, man.
I will say James Naismith only played basketball a handful of times, and dribbling wasn't legal back then.
Well, okay. Well, his passing game is going to be so
the passing
strong.
game gotta be on point.
See, Jason was smart. He's like, this guy's passing. Air Bud's in the air for the alley. We got it. He's got it. All right. So, guys, that's a tough team to beat right there. Let's start off with, how about you, Jose? You want to start with yours?
Sure. Okay. So I'm building a team to win. Okay. I'm talking about I want to build a complementary basketball team with three guys. I'm building a team to win. Okay.
That's a bold statement. All right,
So
go
I'm
ahead.
starting off with what I think has to be like the definitive pick in this. I don't see how you pick anybody else. Steph Curry, the 3-point monster, completely unguardable. Another unguardable guy, Giannis Antetokounmpo. You can't guard this guy. He can score at will. He can score from distance. He can get in the paint, dunk it. And then, because I have two scoring machines, I want a defensive lockdown point guard who's going to get the ball to my guys and take on anybody who's got the ball. Gary Payton, the glove.
Bro, okay. So let's talk this through. All right, it's a solid group. It's a solid three. It is. It's a solid team right there. Chat, rank it from 1 to 10. What are we giving Jose here? I mean, obviously, you've got points for days. You've got defense.
Minus Steph
And then
Curry.
you've got the Greek freak. I mean,
Steph Curry,
solid.
not the best defender, but he can hold his own. I think he's a bit underrated on defense.
yeah, but
I mean,
he's going to be shooting from half court threes for you the whole game, so it doesn't matter.
Also, all
Exactly.
three of these guys have really great passing ability. Steph, obviously, he's got the handles. He's got the passing ability. Giannis, a bit underrated on his passing ability. I think this is just a solid team. Hard to defend, and then I mean,
It's
who
good.
can't Gary Payton lock up? Like, let's be honest, he shut Jordan down in a finals game once.
Whoa.
Once.
We've
Once.
discussed
He did it once.
the Jordan bashing on this show. Okay. But Jose, Jason Wright, being the one that came up with the topic, giving points, throws you an 8.5 out of 10. Woo! Now he gave himself a 9.9, so you're losing to Jason's
Yeah,
team
it makes
right
sense.
now.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Jose, well played, bro. Well played. Chat, I want to see what answers you guys have. Throw who your 3 would be for your team. Richie,
Look at me.
you ready to break down your 3?
Break him down.
What we got, bro? What do we got?
Well, you got to bring in a bad boy. You got to, I mean, the nicest guy off the court, but I mean, the guy averaged 19.2 points a game, 9.3 assists. He can move the ball. He stole at 1.9 steals a game. I mean, it's pretty good defense. And he played for the era that actually did shut down Michael Jordan. I mean, I'm not trying to, but there's 2 years but all right, I'll move past that.
He didn't
You got
shut down
Dirk.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but the bad boys did, and that's it's a team game. Yeah, but that's fine. Dirk, calm down, okay? Don't you live in North Carolina? I mean, what you got going on over there? Dirk, 20.7 points, 3-time champion. Come on, the guy perfected the mid-range, the fadeaways, the one-step jab, step back fadeaways, and then you got Ray Allen. Now remember, Ray Allen played in an era where 3-point shooting was almost frowned upon. I mean, he literally was that era right before Steph Curry came on and made shooting the 3-ball cool. I mean, he averaged 45% from 3 in his career. So if you gave him the amount of times to shoot the ball like Steph Curry did, I mean, come on.
He's third best shooter of all time.
Yeah.
All right,
I
Jose,
mean,
what are you giving coach here? What do you think?
Okay, so here's my problems with the situations. One, he's got Dirk up there. I love Dirk. He's one of my favorite players. But while you're taking those long 2s, I'm gonna take just a step back and I'm gonna hit 3s. Okay.
But you're also accounting into the mentality of the era today, Bert. I mean, this is always going to be a tough battle because we're talking about eras where 3-pointing was frowned upon. They said Larry Bird could have shot lights out if they actually approved him and allowed him to shoot the 3-ball. So, I mean, yes and no. So, I mean, if I'm coaching this team right now, Dirk hit the 3 because you knew he's a capable shooter. Isaiah Thomas can do what he wants on the court. I mean, and then you got Ray Allen. So, pump the brakes.
I think you're gonna have quite a bit weakness on defense. I don't think you have anybody to guard in the paint really against a big
It's make
guy.
and take it, right?
You better hope it is.
Hope so.
I mean,
all right, Jason Wright in the chat. Jason, what are we grading Coach Richie, bro? Give us your score.
You got to have a big man.
All right, you know what? We're gonna jump into mine.
Bull shape. That's bull shape.
8.499. You fell just shy of a 0.1%
Can
of.
we get a simulation? Can we do a little 3v3 simulation? I'm going to
I
simulate
think
this.
Break out
on
the 2K. Let's go.
I'm doing
That's
it
it.
tonight. Tell the
That's
wife.
That's it.
Watch
We'll
the
set
baby.
it up and we're gonna stream it. Now I'm a little upset that you grabbed Dirk
I know, yeah.
because we should have discussed it. I as well grabbed me a little Dirk action.
So
Okay,
which
and
era
that's
did you grab?
because opposite of Jose, I think he's going to be over the line. He's going to shoot those 3s. All right.
He got the
But
3-point
I-
shooting, Dirk.
No, you know who's gonna be shooting these 3s? Wade's gonna be shooting.
Dwayne
those 3s.
Wade,
He's gonna
right
miss
there,
half of
baby.
them.
3-point
Hey,
shooter.
hey, he's going to miss 52% of them. All right. The rest
Yeah,
he's going to do
he's-
just fine. But look, I mean, Dwayne Wade, Dirk, I had to have my big man. You know, I'm going Patrick Ewing. All right. My man that's averaging 10 rebounds a game back in the day, average of 4 blocks, guaranteeing to give me those 21 points that it takes to beat your guys' 3-on-3 team. I am scared of the Airbud team. I don't know how I feel if Patrick
How do we
has
put
his
Airbud
thumb
in
nipping at his
2K?
feet.
That's gonna be tough. We're gonna
That's
have to.
gonna be
We're gonna have to
tough.
mod
Yeah.
it.
Jason, I knew Jigga would have a nick. Yeah, it took a lot because I was sitting there and at first I was like, oh, look, it's 3 nicks. And I was like, I can't. I got to look at how I'm winning this tournament. So I went with my.
I'm surprised I didn't see Phil Jackson.
Hey, you know what? Screw you guys. I've got height. I've got a guy who's going to slam all over the place. You know what, Jason? Give me my score and let them know I won.
Here's the problem here. Here's the issue that you're gonna face, Jigga.
All right.
Is that so? I've got Giannis as my big man. I guess Coach Richie, he's got Dirk as his big man. So Patrick Ewing is going to have to be guarding these guys from the three-pointer, which he's never done in his entire career. He's just going to be running back into the paint. Giannis is putting up the three. Dirk's putting up the three.
Giannis ain't shooting a three ball consistently. Calm down.
He's going to be wide open. He's going to be wide open.
Okay.
It's just Patrick just running.
Patrick goes into the paint.
So what I need to do then is let's right now rock paper scissors, Richie. Here's why.
Yeah.
One of us is going to get rid of Dirk on our team. We are going to build a 3-on-3 roster in 2K, and we're going to have a night and we're going to play our tournament.
Let's do it.
Okay. So
ready. Rock paper scissors shoot.
All right. Dirk. All right.
You can have Dirk. I'll make the switch.
Oh, why? Now you don't want Dirk. Look at this guy. Look,
No,
you
got the three. You got the 3-point Dirk. I didn't get the 3-point Dirk.
Hey, it's okay because Jason Wright gave me the win. How you doing?
Here's your medal.
Yeah. All right. So do I need to decide right now? Am I keeping
I'll
Dirk?
say nobody gets Dirk. How about that? Let's cut it right out. We got to go.
Too good. Dirk's too good.
Yeah, there it is. See?
So no Dirk.
But
All
not
right.
his defense. Thanks, Jose. Appreciate it, bud.
All right, fine. Before the end of the show, I need to know who you're going to replace your Dirk with.
Okay.
And I'll replace my Dirk.
My Dirk with.
My Dirk,
Okay.
your Dirk. All right, it just got weird. Hey, Richie, you hanging out for a while, bro?
I'm hanging by a thread.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about a little bit more news then, guys. I want to talk about the fact that did you guys see Jim Irsay?
Yeah.
Did you happen to see that in the news this week?
I checked it out when you sent me over the link. He bought Muhammad Ali's WBC championship belt
For $6 million.
That's crazy.
It's a good amount of money.
6 million. I mean, I get it though. That's a piece of history.
That
It's
actually
crazy.
feels low to me. Like, I feel like if I had Jim Irsay money, I would be expecting to pay like 10.
But who was outbidding him for that?
That's a good.
Obviously,
point.
nobody because he was able to get it for things.
Otherwise, it'd be worth more. You
Jose
idiot.
obviously wasn't. Jose would be like, "Oh yeah, Irsay, 6 million, 10 million, and that's it."
If I had the money, I would have outbid Irsay for this. This would be something that I would really want. This sounds awesome.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, "Man, that's pretty crazy." So 6 million. He's now the proud owner of the Rumble in the Jungle. What was great was
Totally.
once I read it and then looking up some of the highlights, but just going back and reading up on everything from that, so good.
I love.
And
this
then I was
tweet.
upset.
I love this tweet that it says breaking, like it's breaking news,
Yeah.
but it's Jim Irsay reporting it.
Breaking
It's from
his own news.
It's not like, oh, hey, check it out. Check out this cool thing I just bought. It's no, everybody. Breaking news. Jim
I
Irsay
just
just bought this
spent-
belt.
Breaking news. I just spent $6 million. Like, it was such a baller play. It's like, haha, I own this. Oh, that's cool. And then the follow-up feeling was, wow, I hate being poor. Like, it was instant for me. Breaking news. Jim Irsay buys $6 million belt. JiggaMan can't afford the notch on the okay.
Well, you see
You
what
guys-
happened was.
Yeah. How about we've got some good genes going on in the NBA. We got Shaquille O'Neal and Scottie Pippen's kid both getting signed by the
Yeah.
Lakers, bro. That's some good genes.
So one, this is weird because neither of these guys look like their dad.
For
Neither.
real.
None. Took on the mom.
I do like this though. I like seeing that, like, we saw Gary Payton Jr. just went and won a championship with the Warriors. That was awesome. I love watching Vlad Guerrero Jr. play for the Blue Jays, right? I love seeing these guys who I watched when I was like 10 years old.
Lineage.
Their kids are now playing in the league, and I'm not that old, right?
No, you're not. And that's
Look at this way. Look at this way, Jose. As long as you and I are doing a show together, you should never feel old, bro. Okay? Like it just is what it is. I mean, you shouldn't feel old when you're hanging out with the 40-year-old. Now, I don't have a graphic for this one. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on, though. I started thinking, can we think of other kids? Because I started like these two were kids that got signed by the Lakers, right?
Yeah.
And it made me start thinking of like other kids that have come into the league across all sports, right? You look at like Guerrero Jr., Vladdy and them. Like, is it genes or is it that these parents are just molding their kids this way? Like, look at the whole Manning family. Like, if you're born a Manning, are you automatically good at sports? Or is it just
you're good at quarterback?
You know what? One thing that I think is that I think coaching has gotten better. I think that like one thing that you saw back in the day was a lot of guys they would get out of the league and they would try to coach and they just like you look at like Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson talked about it where like he couldn't coach anybody because he couldn't explain what he was doing. I think that the players like Shaq working with Phil Jackson or Pat Riley, like he had these such great coaches and stuff that he's better at communicating what he's doing and stuff. So they're able to help their kids out more now when they're developing.
That makes
Bigger,
sense.
faster, stronger.
I mean, yeah. See, because I think about it, I'm like, you know, even if I was young now, right, like 18 and committed to sports, there's still one problem. I stopped growing in like 8th grade, right? So whether we've got better coaches or not, but I feel like things might have changed for me now thanks to like Jose Altuve. Right? Because back then it was like, dude, you stopped growing. I mean, you're good, but you're not growing. Like that was the conversations that I had to have. My ears and nose kept coming out. No problem. Look at the size of this thing. But do you think the coaches now would be able to work with my height, Jose?
Are you fast like Jose Altuve?
Yes, he
I'm
is.
fast. I'm fast.
You're fast?
Yes, he is.
I'm fast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like
think
I heard
maybe
Treyway in my head with he's fast. He is fast. Yeah.
Then yeah, maybe
Jason
we
Wright.
could,
Thank you.
Jigga can be a horse jockey.
So good. So good. I know he's going for Halloween.
I think-
See,
that's the thing is I think you might have focused on the wrong sports, Jigga Man. Like you're so into
what do you
basketball
mean?
and
I
stuff.
took the exact route all Puerto Ricans in New York are supposed to do. I played point guard in basketball. I played
baseball.
pitcher and shortstop in baseball. And then for a minute, they were like, oh, you know what? This kid's fast. Play wide receiver. And he'd run, he'd catch, and then he stopped growing.
See, this is the problem. You should have played soccer. You should have been like a young Diego Maradona running out there like 4 feet tall.
I should have been super stereotypical. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I really should have listened to some of my friends and been out there freaking screaming goal. Well, great to know my life choices have paid off, that now I just hang out with you fools and do this kind of talk. All right, great. You sent me this one, Jose. You want to touch on that one?
Yeah.
The Laca one?
Yeah. Joseph Lacob, he got fined. He went on to the Point Forward podcast, which is Andre Iguodala's podcast. And they were talking about the luxury tax. Now, he felt like the luxury tax is unfair to teams like the Warriors. They fined him $500,000 for his comments, which, I mean, guess what? He owns an NBA team. He's got $500,000.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's got the money. But what makes me laugh is you come out publicly to complain about financial stuff, and then they hit you with a financial stuff. Like, how does that go together?
You got to think he's making an investment here, right? He pays $500,000 now to start a conversation about the luxury tax, which might save him way more in the future if it gets changed.
Boom, roasted.
Man, it's like you know what you're talking about. That was a good
You
explanation.
know, people seem to think that I might know what I'm talking about sometimes.
As he's flopping his
He
hair.
said, I sure do. I sure
do. I wear a hat.
But what I think is interesting is that I agree with Lacob a lot in this regard, because he's not signing guys from other teams and paying them these massive contracts to get into the luxury tax. He's paying guys that he drafted. Why should a team in the NBA get punished for drafting well and being a good organization.
Wow.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Love it.
That's one of those conversations you can have a whole episode on. You know,
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
100% we could, because everybody has an opinion on that. But I agree with you 100%. You know what I wanted to talk about, guys, is FCF alumni, FCF players.
Huge.
Okay. Because it feels like every day I'm seeing something new on Twitter, on Instagram, like reports coming out. Like, for instance, how about it? Andrew Jamil getting the tryout with the Patriots, bro.
Love it.
It's huge. This is so dope. I'm so excited for this guy. He's one of the best players in our league, man. I love seeing him get an opportunity like this. I hope he crushes it.
For real.
Next
I mean,
Julian Edelman.
I told him on social, you know, I'm happy for you. I hate that it's the Patriots. You know, he's excited. He's a Patriots diehard fan. I mean, he's from the area, so you know he's excited about it being the Patriots. So with my Jets emotions aside, AJ, I hope it all works out, bro. Kill it, Jamil. You deserve it, bro.
Yes.
And then it made me start looking. You guys, how about the Major League Football League?
Yeah, this league has been interesting to me. I haven't heard too much about it yet, but have been seeing a lot of our guys going over there, signing deals. There are some other players that I saw they're declaring for the XFL draft. There's so much cool stuff going on here. A lot of guys I really love seeing. David Meza, Darius Galloway, Curtis Collins. All my guys.
Seriously, I mean, you got Slick Nick, you got DeJounte Valentine, Roman Tatum, Jordan Smith, Patrick Smith, Curtis Collins, Cecil Cherry. I mean, it's literally like they just called Ray Austin. We're like, hey, Ray, can we go ahead and just get these like guys right here? Can we just go ahead and work it out? We good? We good? Cool. Like they did a fake audition or something with them, tryout in Atlanta and signed all of them. But it also opens up the fact of all these experimental leagues, right? I mean, this is just another one. Like, I'm losing count on how many new leagues are coming and starting, separate from the FCF, because we've always established FCF style is totally different, right?
Yep.
It's in its own lane. So something like this, I mean, without looking into it much, out of all the new leagues that are coming out, is there one that you guys are hopeful that you think this will be a success? Whether it be Major League, XFL, Spring League again, any of these ones, what do you guys think is the one that's actually going to stand the test?
I'll tell you what. Jason Wright put it in the chat. The European League of Football. I've been watching a bit. My boy Jackson Erdman is over there. The Vienna Vikings are now 8-0. They're tearing it up out there.
Yeah, Jerdy's ridiculous.
I love watching those games. I think that they're consistently getting a really high level caliber player out there. Because it's just a bunch of fun to go out there and have a European vacation and go play some football, get paid for it. Seems pretty dope.
Yeah, buddy.
I've seen the XFL fail too many times for me to believe that they're going to make it, you know?
Right.
I'll believe it when I see it. I hope the best because I want to see guys succeed. I want to see guys get opportunities. But all these other leagues that are popping up, they just seem like dime a dozen, and we keep seeing them pop up and fizzle away. So,
it's at the point now where you
see it right now.
Yeah, I'm also at that point where I'm just like, man, I hope they stick around to at least pay their players. Like the fact that you have to think that at this point because it's happened so many times, right? It's like, man, I hope it lasts enough for these guys to actually get the paychecks they're promised. But I mean, there's so many other guys that I hadn't even had time to look at, like Bryson Aline, right? Didn't he just get an XFL offer as well?
Yeah,
I believe he is either declared for the draft where he's going to be a draft eligible player or he was at a tryout for the XFL. I can't remember which one it was. There's been a bunch of announcements of both of those things. I've been getting them a bit mixed up.
I mean, but it's great to see, you know, we've three of us have had this conversation before, right? Where it's like, yeah, it sucks to know they're probably not coming back for season 3, right?
Right.
But at the same time, you're happy for them because FCF, I remember first season, right? We'd be in those games and then we'd talk afterwards. And what they always say, this is a spot for you to get great film, get your name out there and go to that next level that you want. What concerns me is with all these other leagues that are popping up, is it next level or is it just a lateral move when you're going to something like Major League Football who doesn't, you know what I mean?
I tend to view it more as a lateral move until we start seeing these guys actually, until there is a progression pattern where we're seeing you go to this league and then that gives you opportunities the way the CFL used to be. Not anymore, but the way the CFL in the early 2000s, it was like you could go play in the CFL, and if you balled out, you got an NFL contract. It's not really like that anymore.
No, it really isn't. All right.
I mean, it's also hard to recreate the NFL. I mean, that's another thing. You know, these leagues fizzle out. That's why I think, you know, when it comes to league, you know, I think the FCF has its own separate category, and I think the FCF is obviously something completely different than just the game of football, which gives you added value. You got all these other leagues that are coming in, and they're trying to mimic the NFL. You know, what is the XFL? You can get a running head start. I mean, you need to do something to give some flair for you to stick around. And like Jose said, if you're not getting that return on your investment when it comes to making that next league, how do we not know if you're going to be a success? I mean, what is the third time the XFL's come around? Vince McMahon owned it, I think, the first time. Now Dwayne Johnson, The Rock Johnson owns it now. So who knows? So good luck to everybody, you know.
I just feel like so many of these leagues, I don't really think they want to be the NFL. That's my opinion. I think every one of them is striving to be the developmental league for the NFL. And they want that direct partnership. They're all striving for that and that money and that viewership. It's like, get it out of your head. You're not going to be the NFL.
No.
Yeah.
And the NFL doesn't need to just pick one of you to be its developmental league like a G League, because all you guys keep popping up and these players are everywhere. I don't think they'll ever really dive into that.
People are seeing the money there, right? They're seeing the streaming contracts that Peacock's handing out for some of these leagues. They're seeing Fox, and they just want some of that money, so they're gonna try to invest in a league.
No, you got Jason says, I think they can play in the FCF and MLF. Yeah, because of the time of year. What's going to be the tough one is the XFL. Those that do go to XFL, if we're playing around that same time again, there's a pool of guys that we definitely lose.
Yeah.
You know, at the same time, though, and I know I might catch some crap for saying it.
Do it.
It also does open the door, though, for a lot of new faces and names that we haven't met yet to come.
Go.
You know,
You talent,
and
baby.
at least it's proving that, especially from season 1 to season 2, because of the production, because of everything, the viewership, so many more guys are now getting opportunities into all these other leagues. And I think that'll continue.
You think about it, like if everybody came back from season 1 into season 2, would we have gotten guys like Mitch Kidd in this league?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go. Jose just drops the mic right there. Would it have happened? No, it wouldn't have.
No,
what if?
it wouldn't have.
Bam.
Flip your hair every time you give us some good knowledge, all right? So there it is.
Yes.
Coming in.
That's it. I'm growing my hair out and getting a mustache. It's gonna happen.
I'll tell you what, the biggest thing that excited me for this week of this news, it was the Andrew Jamil news, because I want him to get picked up. I want him to make a roster because I want to get a jersey. Patriots jersey with Andrew Jamil. I don't know if you've seen the Giants put out their throwback jerseys. Right now, you go on the New York Giants Pro Shop, you can get a Travis Toivonen New York Giants throwback jersey.
Isn't it crazy?
It's been sitting in cart. It's been sitting in cart for me, just waiting to buy.
A Toivonen.
Jason's on fire. Airbud for season 3.0.
Oh
no, that's for FCH, Jason. They've got something for
Come on. Yeah, buddy.
I want to bring this up. Congratulations to the Knights of Degens Footium Crete team. Tomorrow, Twitter Spaces, 3 p.m. Eastern. Join the whole entire committee and everybody. They're going to share screen as well for you to be able to see what's going on with the game live at 3 o'clock. We are in the tournament. The winner advances to the Division 2, 3 p.m. Eastern, Twitter Spaces. It's going to be actual, like, people, guys, not the fake.
Yeah, not
players.
the actual.
Yeah, there's going to be actual people in the Twitter space, just
gonna be
in case anybody was confused.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a real.
I understood.
Okay. All right.
I understood.
Just make sure.
Cool. I didn't. I'm so confused.
It's like, what fake people? I'll be there. I love fake people.
Do it.
So, guys, let's take a quick commercial break. And here's what I want to do. When we get back, the Madden ratings are out. Can we break down quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running back? I want to have this conversation.
Yeah, I got to see these.
All right.
Got
Check
it.
this out. Quick commercial break. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to What the Show, guys. Like, subscribe, follow KOD_media on Twitter, your Knights of Degen, YouTube, and Twitch, and everything. I don't know if you guys heard, but people put these cameras on and these microphones, and then they like make these backgrounds, and they sit here and they talk to you, and then all they ask for in return is for you to hit that button. That one.
Oh,
Right there. Right there.
You should be pointing at the right thing.
I don't know
Right now
because
you're
you still
pointing at me.
Go ahead and hit it and tell me is it right? Hey, Wade, whatever.
It's whatever.
Jason said, go back to the commercial. I need to jam out to the music some more. Right, that beat. I'm dancing the entire time backstage. Before we break down these Madden ratings, did you guys see the Chris Carson news that came out today?
Yeah, it was expected in the Seahawks community for a while now. He's been it's a retirement, but technically the Seahawks are releasing him on an injury waiver, I think is what it's called. So he's going to
he can get the benefits, right?
The benefits from his contract. He still gets all those medical benefits and stuff. It's great. Chris Carson was one of my favorite players for the last few years. It's tough that we're not going to be able to see him play football anymore, but I like that he's leaving under the best possible circumstances for him.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Seattle's doing it the way they're doing it. You know, just hey, we're gonna cut you, we're gonna release you.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. You know, it's like, hey, buddy, we gotta let you go. Which is I thought was a dope play, so he doesn't lose all that. Because if they literally cut him or he retires, he loses all that. And to deal with a neck injury like that is the same thing Bilal Powell dealt with a couple of years back. And he did that mini retirement, and then he healed up, came back about 2 years later, right? Sucks to see him go through that, though. Like you said, expected because of the injury. But, I mean, it was just, 2 years ago that man was killing it for everybody on fantasy football.
Yeah.
I mean, his points for me week in and week out.
2 years that he came into the league, dude, he was like a dominant running back. And then, he's just, unfortunately, just an injury-prone guy, and they just built up over time. Well,
let's stick with football. Let's talk about these Madden ratings. I want to break down quarterbacks first, okay?
We've done a lot of quarterback talk in the last month.
We really have. So Tom Brady with a 97 rating, Aaron Rodgers 96, Patty with 95, Josh Allen 92, Joe Burrow 90, Dak 89, Herbert 88, Lamar 87, Russell 87, Matt Stafford 85. Richie, I'll start with you. who's rated too high or who's not rated high enough, bro?
Bro, Matthew Stafford just I mean, you guys knew I had to go with my Detroit boy. I'll go quick, too low. He needs to be up there a little bit more. I mean, he had a hell of a year. First year out of Detroit, goes and takes the Rams to the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong, the defense is phenomenal. But, I mean, Cooper Kupp, Triple Crown. I mean, you're not becoming a Triple Crown receiver without a quarterback to throw you the ball. So he needs to be rated higher. And I think Dak Prescott is rated too high, in my personal opinion. I mean, yes, I know he's made some good stuff, but can he stay healthy? Can he put a full year together? Don't know his stats off the top of my head, but show me what you've done. Matthew Stafford's won the Super Bowl. Rate him. He's been 85 when he was with Detroit his whole entire career.
No. You read that. You edited that. It was 65 when he was with Detroit. Jose. Jose, what are your thoughts?
I, for the most part, really like this list. I think is Tom Brady a 97? We're doing Madden, so he's got to, respect to the GOAT, whatever.
Whatever.
I don't know if it's an accurate representation of who he is right now, but okay, Tom Brady's a 97. I'm not going to argue with you about it. I think where this list gets a little fuzzy is the Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. But you could jumble those in any order, and I would be like, I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that guy's actually better than that guy. And plus they're all just 1 point apart. I think those margins are so small that it's really hard to argue against.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally against the list, right? I agree with Jason in the chat. You could have easily swapped Stafford and Dak Prescott as far as ratings go, especially if you're not basing it just on the name and the favoritism of the league and look at, what they've been doing. I think Lamar Jackson should be higher than 87 though. That's the one argument I'll put on there. And I'm not a Ravens fan, but I think if you're going to give him the speed that they give him in the game, you're going to give him this other stuff, then you know what? He should be higher than 87. I think he really should be in that 90 Joe Burrow kind of range. Are you one of those? Are you one of those? Are you guys he's not a quarterback crew?
No, I think
no,
you
it's not
remember the argument
Michael
we had a
Vick.
couple weeks ago with that list. Like, I thought Lamar deserved to be in that top 10 quarterbacks. I think Lamar is very good. I don't. If you're telling me put any of these guys in a playoff game against each other, I think the five over here, I would take all five of those to beat the Ravens in the playoffs.
Correct. I agree with
Okay, but you're saying the team. I understand that debate, but you're telling me, okay, so let's do it this way. No, we're gonna talk this out. All right.
Okay, let's talk about it.
We're gonna talk this. All right. Let's forget the first three. Okay, whatever. Like you said, you go on the top. Okay, whatever.
I don't like him.
So if you're right there and you're picking, and you've got to pick a quarterback for your squad that you're about to run, you built your whole team up, and your choices right now are Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, and Joe Burrow. Which one are you taking, Jose?
I would probably take Joe Burrow. It would be close. I think it would depend on what kind of team I have, but I think for what, I think just like not knowing anything about the team, this is the first pick on a brand new team. I think Joe Burrow gives me a better chance. He's been able to do a lot with a bad offensive line. He seems to be able to make guys like wide receivers who, sure, he's got Jamar Chase, but there's some other wide receivers out there that he's making look really good. I think I take Joe Burrow.
Who would you? Let's be real. Not our favorite teams, right? Let's eliminate our favorite teams. Who do you think has the best offensive unit in the league, technically, in your eyes? Richie.
That's a tough one. I mean, if you're going as a whole,
offensively, best offensive in the league. If you had to choose one, what would it be? And I'm asking the chat the same thing.
It's difficult right now because so many players just moved around.
Correct. That's a good response to it. I mean, you got Josh Allen. I mean, you got Stephon Diggs. You got no running back, but Josh Allen is basically a running back. You got Justin Herbert, who's got some offensive weapons. You got Austin Eckler. So, I mean, you got a lot of scattered, good offenses out there. But if I'm going to really, really dive into it, I mean, the Los Angeles Rams just won the Super Bowl. I mean, they got some good weapons. If Cam Akers stays, I mean, he came back with an Achilles, and he shouldn't have been playing this year. You know, if that kid stays healthy, I mean, how many points are they putting up? A good running back helps out a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's use the Rams then, as they are the Super Bowl champs, right? So now you've got the Rams offense without the quarterback, and you have to choose. You're going with Joe Burrow over Lamar Jackson?
Yes, I think that the comment, like putting Joe Burrow when he has Cooper Kupp and a couple other big dynamic weapons, like he's going to win a Super Bowl immediately. Whereas Lamar, I mean, Lamar is going to like be utilized really well in that offense, but like I don't think he takes them to their max potential.
Okay,
Correct.
fair.
Ditto.
Now, if we look at options 6 through 10, that right side of the board there,
Yep.
you have to lock one quarterback in, no matter what your team is. Which one are you choosing out of those 5 to say that's the quarterback I build around?
Herbert.
For me, it's between Herbert and Jackson, and I can't really decide which one I want.
That's where that 1 point differential comes in on the rating, right? I asked you guys that one because that's the conversation I had with myself and Frankie earlier. Frankie's over there, by the way.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. So there we go. So we're not totally against the ratings when it comes to the quarterbacks. Good combo. How about running backs? 97, Derrick Henry. 96, Nick Chubb. 96, tied with Christian McCaffrey. 95, Jonathan Taylor. 94, Dalvin Cook. 93, Joe Mixon. 90, Alvin Kamara. 89, Aaron Jones. 88, Austin Eckler. 88, Zeke. What do we not agree with on this list?
Christian McCaffrey, in my personal opinion. I mean, obviously, the kid is the most talented running back when he touches the ball and the electricity that he has in the open space. But the best availability is availability. You know, the best, thing that you can be is available, especially at the running back. And the kid can't stand the field. I think he's had one productive year.
This is Madden ratings, though. We're not like fantasy football ratings, right? So it's mostly based on talent. I do agree.
He still gets injured in Madden too. Calm down.
he's got the 99 injury rating.
He does get injured a lot in Madden. Okay?
Dude, I'm telling you.
I think Joe Mixon might be a little high.
Yes.
See, there's so many guys over here like Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler that I'm like, those guys should be top 5. And I'm like, wait, but that's 3. And I like those guys in the top 5 a whole lot too.
Right.
If we're talking about injury prone, Dalvin Cook as well is really injury prone.
Yeah. Correct. I think the Austin Eckler grade is too low.
Yeah.
Especially even after the season he had last year. Like,
I think Ezekiel Elliott is too high.
Really?
He's averaging, yes. If you look at his statistics, I had him on fantasy last year, but if you look at him every year, he just has steadily gone down and down. I think last year he averaged like 3 yards a carry.
Who would you put in at 10?
See, that's the question, right? If you're going to take somebody off of that 88, who are you plugging in that spot for the top 10 ratings?
You think too soon for DeAndre Swift or Antonio Gibson? I mean, Antonio Gibson, is a workhorse with the Commanders, not the Commanders, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Commanders. But he is in sort of a platoon backfield, though. He hasn't taken.
Yes, he is. He's got, he's still got what's his face, J.D. McKissick. But I mean, if you give DeAndre Swift the carries that, they're predicting big numbers from that kid this year. I know the Lions has the number 1 most salary cap driven in their offense out of the whole NFL. And there's a lot of national spotlight being on Detroit, which is weird for me being a lifelong Detroit fan. So, DeAndre Swift came in looking ripped. The kid's got skills out the backfield. If he can stay healthy, another guy that can't stay healthy. But that's the problem with running backs. They're a dime a dozen. Why? Because they can't stay healthy. It's the toughest position in the NFL to stay healthy.
So do you guys think I'm crazy? I think Austin Eckler should at least be a 90 in Madden, at least there with Kamara. And again, basing it off not just because of who he is, but the numbers he put up last year and just his stamina, the way he works. I really feel like Austin Eckler should be in that 90 club. I would easily swap Dalvin Cook with Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, or Austin Eckler
Correct.
when it comes to rating.
I
really
think
would.
so too. I think so too. And you know what? To throw Coach Richie a bone here, you know what? He might be right on this Zeke Elliott. Josh Jacobs probably makes an argument to be a top 10.
You know what? I would debate that, and I'd be on your side of that. Yeah, that's a good call, Jose. Now, speaking of running backs, didn't Leonard Fournette just show up to camp weighing like 450 pounds? What's going on there?
He'll still be a truck. He'll be fine.
A truck. He is the truck, bro, at 400 pounds.
Yeah, I guess he was dealing with some injuries and stuff on the offseason stuff, and I guess he was eating some of the pain. It happens.
He was eating the pain like Richie during pregnancy with his wife. Next one, let's break down wide receivers. 99 Devontae Adams. For what, the fourth year? Is it 4 now or 3? 3 or 4?
I want to say
4 years in a row.
3, yeah.
98 Cooper Kupp. 97 Tyreek Hill. 96 DeAndre Hopkins. 95 Stephon. 93 Justin Jefferson. 92 Mike Evans. 91 Terry McLaurin. 91 Keenan Allen. And 90 Amari Cooper. Jose, I'll start with you. Chat, same to you. Who do we not agree with on this list with their rating?
Mike Evans. I'm not sure Mike Evans deserves to be in the top 10, let alone at number 7.
Wow. Good call.
I mean, like Mike Evans has consistently been the number 2 on his team for like 3 years now. Chris Godwin was the number 1 for the Bucks. So that just strikes me as strange.
Do you think it has to do with that big body, though? And you know when you're throwing that dude the ball, he is catching it. But I think he's, like you said, he's always been moved to that number 2. And sometimes it seems borderline number 3 with the way they utilize that offense.
When Winston was there, Mike Evans was the number 1.
Hands down.
Tom Brady has been there. Tom Brady, he looks at Mike Evans usually, 3rd.
Yeah.
If anything.
Right.
Wouldn't the case for that also be that's Tom Brady's game? You can throw me in the game and Tom Brady is going to make me look like I'm a great receiver, right? That's what he does is he goes to everybody. So this is a good conversation right here, actually, Jose, because it puts the argument of, did Tom Brady pull away what Mike Evans could be doing?
Maybe. One thing about Mike Evans is that he is a bit of an untrustworthy wide receiver sometimes. He's a drop machine for sure. Super talented. You can hit him wide open and stuff, but he drops a lot of balls. Tyreek Hill also drops a lot of balls.
It's not very secret, but we know he makes up for it the minute he just goes flying and catches.
Exactly. Like you think of the highlights of these guys, you're not thinking about them just dropping a contested catch like 50% of the time. But it is hard to make an argument like Mike Evans top 10, but at 7, I don't know. I think Amari Cooper is really low here. When I think of Amari Cooper, I think of him as better than Keenan Allen. I think of him as better than Terry McLaurin. Maybe even better than Justin Jefferson.
So this is one of those things that it always confuses me with Madden, because you look at some of the ratings and you're like, okay, they're doing it overall.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you look at it and they're like, okay, they're doing it based on the name. Like if dude hasn't played in a year or is injury prone, like how are you still throwing out 97s or 96s to a Christian McCaffrey when he can't stay on the field, as an example?
Correct.
Right? It's the name. It's what he's done. It's like I've always felt like Madden should really put the ratings based on what they did the year before. Shouldn't be just because of the name.
I agree.
I agree with you. Amari Cooper, right? That's a name you always expect. It's Amari. But we haven't really seen the Amari that we know over the last year and a half, 2 seasons maybe?
Not in Dallas, at least.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, DeAndre Hopkins for the last, the back half of last year, he totally fell off.
Exactly. There's no real.
I mean, Stephon Diggs was incredible last year.
Incredible. And the year before that?
I mean, do you guys think there's another receiver in the league that should be in that 99 club? Cooper Kupp?
I
Cooper
wholeheartedly
Kupp being
agree.
at 98 is such a strange thing to what's Devontae Adams doing that Cooper Kupp isn't?
Yeah.
Well, he's in loss. We're gonna find out. I mean, not to say he didn't do great things in Green Bay, but he is not in Green Bay anymore. He does not have an Aaron Rodgers quarterback. He has Derek Carr, who's a middle of the road quarterback. Can he be that same producing receiver in a different? I mean, this is sort of the Belichick. If Belichick went without Tom Brady, it's Devontae Adams, Devontae without Aaron Rodgers. We know that Aaron Rodgers makes average receivers, JiggaMans. We know they make JiggaMans look good on the field. So,
what happens to Jamar Chase? How is he not on this list?
1 year.
Yeah, it is.
Rookie?
It's a rookie season. It's hard to follow that up and say
What is he, 88, 89? He can't be too far off.
He's so good. He's so good. I mean, he did. Yeah, I don't know.
Look at Terry, right? Terry's a great receiver. There's no question of that. But he started off the season last year hot, right? It was those first couple of weeks. And then that was it of Terry McLaurin. But yet he's still able to keep that 91 rating. That's why my question about Jamar Chase is, how are you not having Jamar Chase up there on a 90 based off of what he did last year?
And then who's throwing Terry McLaurin the ball? I mean, this year, who's throwing her the ball? I mean, you got these receivers, you said.
You're not quarterbacking for the Commanders?
No. It's Carson Wentz or something, right? Some bum that can't stay healthy.
Yeah, I knew it was someone that looked like you. That makes sense. Carson Wentz.
Calm down.
Jose, any receiver in the league that you'd put on this list that you think should be in the 90 club at least?
Based on the way that they kind of do things here, right? Where it's sort of like a total, they do speed, catch radius, route running, that stuff, and they kind of combine in a score. Where's DK Metcalf's really, really good. He's a fucking monster.
Yeah, but he fell off last year too.
No, Russell Wilson broke his hand.
hey, same Terry McLaurin comment then. If you want to go down the road, I mean, he had Ryan Fitzmagic Patrick.
I love Terry McLaurin. I think Terry McLaurin deserves to be on the list.
I agree.
I would say Keenan Allen hasn't been good in 3 years.
Mike Williams, I thought outshined Keenan Allen this year.
Mike Williams will outshine him again this year.
So we'll see, boys. Big Madden year.
Did anybody order their Madden yet?
Bingo. And I'll hate it just like last
Jose said,
40 Maddens.
I'm going to buy it and notice 0 changes from the year before.
Nothing.
And still have a new 4-hour draft.
We'll see if they throw it on Game Pass, okay?
2 years later.
Bingo. Crossed. Man, well, guys, you know what? Before we end the show, I also want to talk about, we'll switch from football. You guys see the Gutter Cat gang in the basketball tournament with the TBT and these boys tearing it up?
Yeah, I did see that.
Ooh.
I didn't. I've been having a baby. So coach is a little out of the loop on a lot of situations, boys.
I'm done with that guy. Freaking. Because I have responsibility. I'm better than you. All right, he's coming back. Hey, you're right, bro.
I'm probably going to
Pretty dope, though.
I'm sure Amanda's down there be like, yo, diapers are flying off the hinges over here.
But yeah, I've been watching the TBT tournament with the Gutter Cat gang is in it for the $1 million prize. They advanced. Tomorrow's the next round of the playoffs, so that's pretty dope. And it's funny because so many Gutter Cat gangs are Knights of Legion guys, and Knights of Legion guys are gutters. So that cohesiveness is there. Man, I was thinking I should have tried to get all those players on here today before the big game tomorrow and had an interview with them. So my hope is these guys win tomorrow, which I believe they will. Killing it. And we see if we line them up and we get them on here next week and, talk a little bit of Gutter Cat gang as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, I think we've covered up a lot of interesting this week. What do you think?
That's solid brick of news that we ran through today.
Yeah, I think it was a good amount of stuff. Good amount of stuff.
Jose, I swear to God.
I'm so
hitting just for Richie now.
Just for Richie. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us on Tuesday nights on what the Spread the word, help us grow KOD Media. Get those likes, get those subscribes. Tell everybody, hey, these guys, they do stuff. You might like it. It's sports. It's fun. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Guys, obviously we have a lot of content coming out every day of the week now. Tune in with us Thursday for Fight Night. Tune in tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. for Yankees Morning Brew. Friday for Tonight We Ride into the Metaverse. And then again and again and again. And hey, Jose, I love you, bro.
Oh, we have to 3v3
too, man.
2K. We going Dirks? Jason said go Dirk versus Dirk. So
all right, fine.
Yeah, do it. Dirk versus
Fine.
Dirk.
do it.
Fine. We're going to do it. We're going to
I'm
record it.
doing
I'll get
tonight. I'm
everything
gonna talk
set
to your
up.
wife. Oh, you're
Appreciate
doing it.
everybody
All right.
tuning in. Appreciate everybody hanging out. On that note, we out of here. Have a great night. Peace.
I'm out.
As far as the Eastern Conference Finals,
And to go with Texas.
I'm not surprised.
Tired of watching the same boring old sports shows? Try this on for size.
His play style, I think he's the best at pretty much everything.
You're watching the What